So last class we had started with types of offer: express, implied, positive, negative. We have covered these four aspects in the last class. Positive offer, what's a negative offer, what's express offer, what is implied offer. Today we'll be studying with specific offer. Okay, what is a specific offer? An offer made to a specific or a definite person or a class of person. It is also referred to offer to individuals. Here we'll be studying the case of Bolton versus Jones. Now, as the name itself says, specific offer, right? Specific means you are actually aiming to one particular person. That is called as being specific offer. So let's look at this case, Bolton versus Jones, to understand this case or this offer better. Now here we can see two parties here. One is the shopkeeper here. The owner of the shop is the Brocklehurst. He is the owner of the textile business or a shop. And there's another party called as Jones. Now Brocklehurst and Jones have a regular trade business and they have a good business relation with each other. Got it? Now Mr. Jones places an order to Mr. Brocklehurst on a particular day, ordering certain items or certain products from Brocklehurst. What happens on that one particular day, when the letter of order reaches to the shop or reaches to the particular order shop, ownership would have changed. That is, Mr. Brocklehurst would have sold his ownership rights to Mr. Bolton. Got my point? Mr. Brocklehurst has sold his ownership rights to Mr. Bolton. Now, who is the owner of that shop? It is Mr. Bolton and not Mr. Brocklehurst. Even though the letter has reached the shop, Mr. Bolton delivers the goods to Mr. Jones without informing about the change in the ownership. As Mr. Bolton has received the order from Mr. Jones, he automatically responds to the order and then he delivers the goods to Mr. Jones. Meanwhile, he is not mentioning that the shop does not have the ownership rights of Brocklehurst, but it is transferred to Mr. Bolton. So what Jones says is, Jones refuses to pay the price when he learnt that the goods were not supplied by Brocklehurst. So once Jones got to know that the ownership has changed from Brocklehurst to Mr. Bolton, Jones refuses to pay the price of the goods delivered to him according to the order that he has placed. So what Bolton does is, since he has already delivered the goods to Mr. Jones, he sued Jones in the court of law for not paying the price for the goods delivered to him. Let's see what the judgment or what the court says about this. Judgment, what the judge passes is, Jones is not liable to pay. Now let's look at the reasons why this case was dismissed for Bolton. First, the order was addressed to Brocklehurst and not Bolton. As I told earlier, specific offer means you are aiming at one specific person, right? Only Brocklehurst has the right to accept that offer. So this offer was made to Brocklehurst, so only Brocklehurst can accept the offer. What I have written to Mr. A, Mr. B cannot accept that offer and revert back to me or send his acceptance to me. That is not at all a valid contract or not at all a valid offer. So there was no contract between Bolton and Jones, so he was not liable to pay the price. Hope you have understood. So I'm just refreshing the whole case. There is a shopkeeper, Brocklehurst, and there is another party, Jones. Jones places an order to Brocklehurst, ordering certain items or products. On that particular day, the letter reaches to Bolton. Ownership changes. Brocklehurst sells his shop ownership rights to Mr. Bolton. Without knowing that the letter was addressed to Brocklehurst, Bolton delivers the goods to Mr. Jones without informing the change in the ownership. Once Jones gets to know that ownership has changed, he refuses to pay the price, for which Bolton sues Jones for the price. So the judgment passed is Jones is not liable to pay the price of the goods delivered to him. Specific offer means only that person to whom the offer is addressed to, that person has to accept that particular offer. Moving on, the next type of offer is called as general offer. An offer made to the world or public at large is known as a general offer. Example, an offer of reward for some information through a public ad. Now, if you can see in your newspapers, if there is a person missing, right, they give you a reward at the bottom of the ad if somebody finds this person, right, the missing person or the missing any equipment, anything, there is a reward prize for the person who finds it. Now, all these ads in the newspaper that you see, is it pointing out to one particular person? No, the ad is to everybody in the world. Whoever is going to read that ad or is going to come across that advertisement in the newspaper or magazine, it is addressed to them. So, specific offer is to one particular person, general offer is to public at large or to the anybody who is going to read that ad. For a better understanding, let's look at this interesting case, Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company Limited. Okay, it's between a customer and a company here. Now here is a ad, as I told here, right, a reward in the public ad. Now here there is a ad put up by the Carbolic Smoke Ball. Now this is a company which says it has introduced or it has come across with a certain product which is called as smoke ball. If any customer or if any person uses that, it will help them build immunity and avoid any kind of fever, etc. Right? Now this ad also told if any person is going to use this medicine or the smoke ball 3 times every day, 3 times every day for 2 weeks, and if you still continue to get cold or if you get influenza, etc., my company will be liable to pay you 100 euros. Is that clear? This was the ad put up by the Carbolic Smoke Ball Company Limited. $100. Can you see that picture over there? That was the reward given to the anybody who catches cold after using this product of the company. For which, can you see over there between the pictures, 1000 euros is deposited in Alliance Bank. Okay, to prove that this ad is real or this ad is a serious thing, they already, company has deposited rupees 1000, I mean 100 euros in a particular bank. Hope you understood what is the ad about, what is the reward, and for what action is the reward. So here one of the customer, that is Mrs. Carlyle, okay, she's going to take the smoke ball, purchase the smoke ball, she's going to use it for 3 times daily and 2 weeks continuously as per the instructions given in the advertisement, and then she falls sick, and then what she does is she files a case against the company. It was supposed to build immunity, instead it made her sick. Got it? She bought the carbolic ball, she used it according to the instructions given in the advertisement, and then she got sick instead of building immunity, and then she filed a case against the Carbolic Smoke Ball Company Limited. Now let's see what the company has to say about this case. Company argued that it is just an advertisement, it's just very vague, right? There's nothing particular about it, it's just an advertisement, it's just an ad to boost our sales, nothing much. But the court says it is not a vague offer, it is a definite offer, as company mentioned if while using the product you contact any illness, then we will pay you 100 euros. So Company says the advertisement was just a vague for the sake of boosting up sales, we have done it, right? It's just a vague advertisement. But court says no, the offer in the advertisement is not at all vague, but you had given a specific instructions in the advertisement that if while using your company's product and the customer or the consumer feels sick or faces any kind of illness after using the product, the company is and will liable to be paying rupees 100 euros. That was the court's answer. The second argument was there was no intention to create legal obligation with Carlyle. It was meant to boost sales, nothing on a serious note. So the company says we just put up the ad just to increase our sales or to make more people get aware of our company's product, but we never intended to create any kind of legal relationship. You remember one of the valid essential of a contract is what? Intention to create a legal relationship. So the company here argues that we never had an intention to create a legal relationship here, and there was nothing serious about the ad, for which the court answers them back saying company mentioned that it has deposited euros in the Alliance Bank to show the seriousness of ad. So you can't call it as a puffing offer. Puffing offer is nothing but just to attract more customers. If I say already bank, my company has deposited money in the bank, that means more people will come forward to use that particular product or experience that particular product or a service. So it was just a puffing offer is what the company's argument was. But court says no, it's not a puffing offer because you intended people to act upon it. You already deposited money in the Alliance Bank account, showing that this ad was a serious in nature and not just for the sake of advertisement. Let's look at the third argument. Company says it was not specific ad to Carlyle. Remember, the company is putting up an ad for general to the public and it is saying, arguing what? It is not a specific ad to Carlyle, nor did Carlyle inform us about her acceptance of the offer. Now what company argues is, yes, we have put up an ad. Okay, Carlyle may have reacted to this ad, but she never informed to us about her acceptance of the offer, right? We have put up an offer in the newspaper. Carlyle implemented it according to the instructions, but she never approached our company saying or communicating her acceptance of the offer, for which the court has an answer. Company wanted people to act upon the ad. That is why you put up an ad, right? An ad is put up so that people would react upon it or respond to the particular advertisement. If the offer contains conditions, now did this offer or the ad contain conditions? Yes. Then fulfillment of conditions will amount to acceptance without communication. Let's read that again. The fulfillment of conditions will amount to acceptance without communication. Then, is Ms. Carlyle responsible to communicate the acceptance in this case? Absolutely not. Because when it is an advertisement with instructions or conditions, just by fulfilling that conditions, the customer or the person who is responding to it, it is understood that the person has accepted the offer and there is absolutely no necessity to communicate this acceptance to the company. Is that clear? So court's answer was you put up an ad for people to react. So when people reacted it, by how? By fulfilling the conditions in the advertisement, it is understood that company has to pay, company is liable to pay if damages occur, right? And it does not have to, the customer does not have to inform or communicate the acceptance to the company. Therefore, the court dismissed the appeal or the arguments of the Carbolic company and the judge gave a judgment in terms of favor to Miss Carlyle. So, what was the judgment? that Carbolic Small Smoke Ball Company is liable to pay Mrs. Carlyle 100 euros. Is that clear? So this was the judgment passed by the court of law in favor of Mrs. Carlyle.